Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. The rest of the data will be down below this video. This video today is about how the Chinese Communist Party between 2015 and 2021 was controlling Boeing and Sikorsky, and they're protesting the Army's decision to use the Bell V-280 Valor. We're going to show this to you in brief. Yes, they were in control of both Boeing and Lockheed Sikorsky during that time. And here we go. You have ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental corporation that has federal agencies and corporations on board. In 2015, Randy Doherty, the vice president of ANAB, chairman of the IAF, and also the principal on the IAF tax report, handed over leadership to Communist National Zhao Jinwu, who's been involved with our quality since 1994. He is also the chairman, or actually the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services in Beijing, China. He is also seen in 2017 in a nice candid picture in Wuhan, China, certifying the Bio Level 4 laboratory where the COVID virus more than likely escaped. And it was brought forward by Pamela Sale, who at the time was the vice president of accreditation for laboratory and for ANSI ANAB, and also watched over ASCLD lab, which is owned by ANSI ANAB, and ANAB is a standalone lab accreditor as well, and I guess registration, whatever you want else you want to say. He is also mandated by his country of origin, Communist China, to take our data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. Randy Doherty in 2017 we go to, was then the technical advisor, but he was also labeled on the Department of Homeland Security, being advertised as the vice president of ANAB for a certain certification they were issuing. There's a lot of interlocking directorates here and collusion, but I'm going to go further and say that there is a guy, a Phil Matheson at the time, a Department of Homeland Security manager of standards. He was sitting getting financed by ANSI along with his federal salary. He was getting $262,000 as a royalty payment, which it can or can't be taxed. Nobody has defined that because even the IRS cannot define it. ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018. You have federal agencies and corporations on board. During that time, in 2000 and I think it was 16, Joe Batia, the CEO of ANSI, was giving a speech, and he said that would you want your company to be controlled by either someone in the United States or someone in China? And at the time when he said that, both ANSI and ANAB sat on the International Accreditation Forum that was controlled by China between 2015 and 2018. So Joe Batia should have stepped down then because of his incompetency. We continue on. We go with Lockheed Martin. Lockheed, at the time between 2015 and 2021, was sitting on ANSI's board, as they do now, and they were being controlled and manipulated by Communist China. Not only that, let me give you the history. In 2009, Lockheed Martin gets hacked by China, taking the F-35 fighter. In fact, here we go. Here's the actual document that shows that the fighter had been stolen by the Chinese. And furthermore, we go further and we find out 2009. Another thing is this. A lot of people have asked, they said, Daryl, how do you know? How do you know it's been stolen? How do you know the technology has been stolen? Well, here's a collage of items. You have the F-35 fighter here, and you have the Chinese copycat, the J-31, as a copycat. You also have the Black Hawk, and the sad part is Lockheed, purchased Sikorsky in 2015 from United Technologies. But let's go back. So you have 2009, Lockheed Martin gets hacked by China. In 2012, a division of United Technologies, Sikorsky aircraft, gets hacked by China. Okay, and taking the Black Hawk, T-700 engine, etc. And here is that copycat. So you have those two technologies that's been taken. And the funniest thing is that Lockheed Martin spent maximum amount of money for Sikorsky, $9 billion approximately. You also have the 4 representatives in Connecticut. In a article that was written in the a Connecticut Mirror, small magazine, a newspaper in Connecticut, it stated that with China's okay, Lockheed Martin closes in on the purchase of Sikorsky aircraft. And in that document, it states, Connecticut lawmakers praise Lockheed Martin for working with an international regulator, Communist China. You also have Christopher Wray. Christopher Wray, who went on deposition again on the 15th of November 2022, saying how bad, how the detriment to TikTok is, and also Communist China to the furtherance of American way of life, and we should maintain vigilance. Yet, you have the 4 representation in Connecticut, Rosa DeLauro, Chris Murphy, Jim Himes, and Richard Blumenthal all saying and praising Lockheed, giving them a thumbs up for working with Communist China. In fact, a sad part of it is you have this. You have Lockheed Martin that sat at the time on the International Accreditation Form, which was being controlled and manipulated by Communist China. What do you want? China already took their technology. China is basically, it was very easy for China to hack Lockheed. Their cybersecurity seems like it lacks a security. In fact, Bell Helicopter and Lockheed teamed up together in 2013 to build the V-280 Valor. Well, they separated. I'm sure that Lockheed separated due to the fact that they had their eye on Sikorsky. That was only 2 years away to purchase it. But needless to say, I am sure the technologies were transferred back and forth. And since Lockheed showed weakness in 2009, I guess Bell didn't give a damn. They were trading documents and blueprints and all the rest of that haphazardly, I'm sure. And I am sure without a shadow of a doubt, the Chinese got into Lockheed's computer and took the Valor. Yes, because at a small aerospace exposition in China, they already displayed both the Lockheed Sikorsky Defiant SB-1 and also the V-280 Valor aircraft. Yes, absolutely. On top of it, sitting over by Lockheed Martin was Iran and Pakistan. Iran and Pakistan. I don't say this about the people, I say this about the politicians. You have both of these countries that want to see the destruction of the United States. Well, their politicians do. I don't know. You ought to ask the people of Iran and Pakistan. You have Pakistan who harbored Osama bin Laden, yet you have Lockheed sitting there at the time with Iran and Pakistan. And by the way, Iran and Pakistan are equivalent in accreditation to ANAB. They are an IAF MLA, multilateral agreement organization, which means, in theory, they can come over and certify these companies. Isn't that nice? People are going to say, they can't do that, Daryl. Oh, yes, they can. We have it in a letter from at that time, it was the vice president of ANSI ANAB, or ANSI ASQ ANAB. It's still the same mixture, whatever. And yes, they could. On top of it, Boeing got hacked by China as well. C-17 aircraft, all the rest of that mess. And they've taken a lot of data from Boeing. So you have a collaboration of 2 organizations. You have actually 3. You have Lockheed, Sikorsky, and Boeing going back, trying to get the contract revised from the government accounting office. And I have made a prediction that they will get it. And Bell did not, and I repeat this, Bell did not win that contract. It will be decided by the government accounting office in April. And what you have here is you have the factor that the Department of Defense sits on ANSI, right over by Lockheed Martin, right over by Boeing, and Bell is the helicopter company that is out of the picture as far as being in these little incestuous relationships. There is only one hang-up, though. You have Mitch Schneider, the CEO of Bell. He was a former employee on the F-16 program, working in both the European and Middle Eastern theaters of operation, and he was an employee. So hopefully this is going to turn out well for Bell. I feel that it's not. I feel with the Pentagon, who signs off the appropriations for that helicopter, and then the GAO, which is in bed with these guys, the Government Accounting Office, I'm sure that it is not going to look good for Bell. And here's the final picture showing both aircraft. and you'll find the video down below concerning the most recent exhibition in China showing you these two aircraft that have been taken. And this video, again, is about CCP-controlled 2015 to 21 Boeing and Sikorsky, and they're protesting the Army's decision to use the Bell V-280 Valor. So we have a lot of issues going on. A lot of the data, as I said, will be down in the description. My telephone number is 203-556-1493, or Daryl, TQRS, @yahoo.com. I thank you.